Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about the file operation in Python, especially any object-oriented language. If you look at file operations, are a major addition. We believe on data, right? Data changes, behavior changes. So we have to read data from external files as well. So Python gives you this facility uh, using simple operations. You can very well do talk to a file, read a file, and also write to a file. Getting that? So that is one thing we are going to see in this part 3. Number 2, we are also going to talk about exception handling. Exception handling is all about robustness, or rather, a property of object-oriented program to handle abnormal conditions. So very important, we are going to see that also. Apart from this, we are also going to talk about database handling in Python. We will learn how to do DB access, do CRUD operations with DB, plus certain advanced topics we are going to look into. So if you look at here, the PPT, you could see that very well. I would like to increase the font size a bit wherever I feel like it's smaller. I hope this should be good enough, and I'll also try to improve this. Now it should be good, right? Okay. So these three topics we are going to look into. So let's go one by one. So Python files. Now Python files, how are we going to, work on this? See, the best part of Python is Python has these operations inbuilt in the default package itself. You don't need to import anything. You don't need to download any software for this. So by default, you have a function called open. This function is capable of reading a file by the path. By default, it will open that file for reading. But if you want, you can open the file for writing as well. So you have something called as mode, which you can specify after this file path and file name. So if you specify the mode as R, it is only for reading. W for writing. Likewise, you got some modes. Now before we use them, let's first of all open a file and see how we can work on this. So in order to work with file operation, all you have to do in Python is use the method open, and then you can give a path. Now let me have a file from here, somewhere in D drive. I have hello-danish.java. So shall we take this file? So d:/hello-danish.java. So let me have here d:/ in double quotes. You have to say d:/hello-danish.java. So this is going to connect to that particular file, and I'm going to get a handle for this. So in order to capture the handle, you can say if name can be anything, it will not be file. So once you have this, now the file is now captured by Python. Since the default operation is read, you can very well read now. How? You can say file dot read, and there it is. That's all. So reading is done. Now whatever it is, the file f equal to. Now you can very well print this. This is going to print that particular file. See how simple it is. Python is always simple. In most of the programs you would have seen, ready-made stuffs are available. So you can very well see file is read and the contents are printed. Okay. So if you want, you can do writing operations also. But right now, if you do writing operations, it will throw you an error because you haven't specified the W option. If you want to specify the W option or read write both option, here you can pass the mode. Like for example, you can say R By default, R is by default, read, write, getting that. Or you can also see here itself, you can see in the help facility is coming more literal. You can say RB, BR, WB, kind of, no, like this you can specify. B is for to open in binary mode, T is to open in text mode, plus is to open in both the modes. Cool. W is to open the write mode or read mode, you can specify. WR, you can specify. Or you can also specify plus. Plus is equivalent to read write. If you don't specify anything, it is by default read only. Now that you have this, you can very well read, right? So file.read will read the entire contents and then it will print. So it has already got printed, correct? Okay. Now what happens when you do the reading? Please understand, when you do the reading, the cursor moves from the top line to the bottom line. When it moves to the bottom line, it reaches the end of the file. Now if I'm again going to do the read, it is not going to return anything to me because it has already reached the end of the file. See here, if I'm going to say file equal to file.read one more time, now this will not print anything. This will not print anything. Fine. I'm just trying to have a dot so that you can know that it is printing. So if I do this, it does not print anything. That's because we have already reached the end of the file. Why would it read anything else? There is nothing to read. So once you have read, your cursor moves to the end of the file. You cannot reread it again. If you want to reread this again, then what you have to do is you got to again say file equal to on top. File equal to open of b colon hello danish.java. Now if I do so, file, see here it has read 2 times. Cool. It has read 2 times. Okay. One more thing, please understand. Whenever you are working with file operations or any resource, as a matter of fact, in any programming language, you have to always close the resources. Now you may ask, why do you close a resource? See, it's a good practice. My resource may not support multiple connections, or my resource may not support some number of, like, it cannot exceed this many number of connections. In that case, better you use it, close it, use it, close it. Then it makes sense. Otherwise, it will be connected to you. Nobody else will be able to use it. We're going to get this. So for that reason, it's always better after opening, you ensure that you close this. Now this way, when you again open, it will be one new connection, and again you got to close this. Once job is over, you got to close this. Now this is not just a programming thing; it's a good practice. Please understand. Everywhere in real life also, whatever you use, you should close it properly. Correct? Our mother used to tell us, right? If you have taken like say, I've taken this water bottle from somewhere. My mother will tell me always, like, keep it in the same place from where you have picked up. So you open a connection, you close the connection. Getting that? So here you have opened a connection, read that, used it, printed that, you close the connection. Again, you can create a new connection. Getting that? Okay. If you have opened, if you have closed the connection, now how do I know that the connection is closed? For that, comment this. Now again say file.read. See, in this case, file.read will read nothing basically. If you are going to comment this also, file.close, it does not read anything. It reaches the end of the file, right? I don't get any error. But if I'm going to have this file.close open, now believe me, this will throw you an error. Why? Because you have closed the connection. You cannot call the read operation on a closed connection. So if I'm going to run this, I'll get a error. IO operation cannot be performed on a closed file. IO operation cannot be performed on a closed file because we have closed the connection. Got it, guys? Is that clear? So two things we have seen. One is you can when you read a file, the cursor goes to the end of the file. That we have proven. Second thing is we have said closing connection is a good practice. So we have done that with the close method, and we have also seen it is not reading again. If you want to read again, then you got to say again open. This is how you have to. Okay, fine. Apart from this, Python also has a beautiful option called as with open. Now, what is with open? With open is a auto closable feature of Python. If you want the connection to be closed automatically, you don't want to close it. See, like we have a door closer, right? You open a door, automatically it closes the door. So most of the offices will have such things. So if you want an auto close feature option to be made available, here you are. So what for that? The syntax is you got to open the file using a command called as with, and then you have to say open of, let's say d:/. Hello Danish.java as file f. Please understand the syntax with open as f. Now I can very well say r equal to f dot read. Now I can say print r. Now what happens if I try reading it again? Let's say if I say f dot read. See, since the connection is already closed, f dot read will throw you an error stating that IO operation cannot be performed on closed file. I'm not calling close here. Close is getting called automatically. Correct? So if I'm going to run this, got it? IO operation cannot be performed on closed file. See this? So that is coming because I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read. Okay, you may also wondering like why, how come the fourth line is getting executed first? Now that's how Python optimizes. See, when it does a reading, when it opens a file, it tries to go and execute the other one, the other statements. It is a simple optimization technique, but still you won't have any problem with the results. So you can see very well the output is like this, but the result is what is expected is happening. Correct or not? So anyhow, on a closed connection, fine, on a closed, and this operation also will have different times different outputs. That's because of internal multi-threading feature. So when it comes to the output, 2-3 threads will work, and they all will work parallel. So what output you will get, what thing will you will be seeing, it's purely depends on your CPU. So don't worry about the output. There are two things here. One is optimization technique, one more is your multi-threaded way of outputting. So they have their own way of function. So that's for a good one thing. So as such, you could see here, when you do the read operation, fine, after printing, you cannot do the read operation again because the connection is closed. The connection is closed. So this is your with open. Is that clear, guys? Right. Next. How do I write files? Or rather write to a file? For that, the option is write. The option is write. See this yellow, I've been continuously having this because I want you to understand this so that you can memorize these things. I'm trying to increase the font. So you could see here, open, I'm opening this in W mode. Okay. How do I write? I use the method write. I use the method write here. Write will basically override the existing file and write these contents on the existing file. Not only that, if the file is not present, it will create the file. If the file is not present, it will create the file. So primarily Python goes and search whether the file is there. If so, it will override the file. If the file is not there, it will create the file and type the contents inside the file. Okay, let's see one by one. So here I'm saying open. Now that we know auto closable is a better feature, find b:/ hello.txt. Hello.txt is not there, and I would like to have this plus here. This can do both read and write operation. Fine, both read and write operation. I don't need to use only for writing or reading. I can also say W. That's only for writing operation. Okay, what happens since the file is not there? Now, if I'm going to say f dot write hello world. Now, if I'm going to run this now, one plus is must have exactly one of create or read or write append mode at most one plus. Okay, let me say W and C. W may I didn't find any issues. Okay, plus may okay, we'll see that error later. So W will do the writing. So let's see here whether hello.txt is there. Yes, and if I open this, hello world. Cool. Okay, what happens if I again rerun this? If I again rerun this, now 2 times hello world should be there, right? But if it appends 2 times, if it does not append, it is overriding means only one you will find hello world. So I'm running this again. So again we'll open this. So which means how many ever number of times you run, this will be only once. Which will not, that means it is not getting appended, rather it is getting overridden. Correct or not, guys? Okay. So write will write the contents. Write the content. Okay, what happens if I'm going to have more than one write? This is next hello world. If it is going to overwrite, then only this will be there. Or else, if it is going to append, both will be there. That is, I'm not trying to open the file one more time. One file handle I'm using. So let's run, see this. Here it's working in a different way, correct or not? When you are running this again one more time, this will not be extended, rather it will be replaced. Like for example, if I'm going to say here, second time, if I'm going to run this, the second time will be there. Okay, that means when you say f.write, they get appended automatically. But if I'm going to have this run again, then it will override. So please understand, it will check whether the file is there or not. If the file is there, it will try to override that file. If the file is not there, it will create a file with that name and then write the contents. So next time it will override. So by default, it overrides the contents. It does not do appending by default. But if for the same opened connection I use continuously, it gets appended when one after the other. Appended means adding at the end. Getting erased. Sorry. There are some methods you need to know because we have plenty of methods in the file operation. Let's do some few methods, make use of them. Let's see how it works. Fine. So this is your methods, guys. So there are plenty of methods in your IO. These methods can be used to do more processing on your files. Let's see some of them. Like for example, you got a beautiful method called as read of the method with one more option, read of 10. Now, what exactly this read of 10 does? Right? That is, you are playing with the cursor here. Now to understand this, fine, let me open this file for reading. So if you want to do it for reading, you can also say R plus, that is inclusive of writing. Here you can say content equal to file dot f dot read. Now normally if I'm going to say like this, if I'm going to say content, now this is going to read the entire content, correct or not? Fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 10. Now let's see what happens. Only 10 characters it is reading, correct? So read up to 10 characters. That's what we are trying to specify here. So this is something which you can use in many ways. Okay. Apart from this, you also have a method called as type. Like if you want, you can also specify type. Type means it will give you the data type, what type of content you have inside the file. See this? The data type is string. The data type is full. Apart from this, you also have an option to iterate a file reading and print all the contents using a for loop. That is also possible. Now that you have this data, you can also do like this. For I in F, fine, and then you can say print I. This is also possible. You can do this. Now this is going to print the entire content. Right. So directly I have said F. If you want, you can also have the content. When this is going to print only the content what we have. Cool. If you put it on the file F, it reads the entire thing. If you read it on the content, it reads only those 10 characters. Is that cool? That means you can operate on the file F itself. You don't need to call the read method if I'm going to put it in a for loop. Cool. You also have an option called as read line. One more method. Read line will read line by line. One line it will read. So you can also use read lines. This will read all the lines. So here you can say, see this. For example, you can say content equal to read line. Now let me have this print content. Oh, L lowercase. So let me run this. Okay. Now that you have this, let me give a small change here. Hello world line 1, hello world line 2, hello world line 3. So this is something which I am giving directly. Now let me go here and say read line. Let's see what it reads. So it reads the first line, correct? Okay. I read that one more time. I say print content. Now if I am going to run this, now I get the second line. Correct. Okay, what happens if I give read lines? Now let me run this. I get all the lines as a list. As a list. Got it, guys? Is that making sense? So got it, guys? So read lines will read all the lines. One more is seek and tell. Now another two functions. Fine. seek can change the pointer position to that particular place. Like for example, let's say there are 10 characters inside. You can move your cursor to that position. From there you can start reading. And also tell will tell you at what position your cursor is. Like for example, here if I'm going to directly say print f dot tell, this will tell me the current cursor position. If I'm going to say f dot seek of let's say 3, if I'm going to run this, of course, the position of the cursor will also be that. Getting that. If I want, I can read from that place. I can say print f dot read. So here, hello world. Let's say I have hello world, hello line one. I have this. Okay. Now 3 means HE will go off. Correct or not? HEL. Two L's are there, right? One L has come. So seek will move your cursor to the position where you want to move. Tell will tell the current position. So from where you want to, where the current cursor is, placed. So very useful methods. We can do make use of them. Okay. There is also one more thing called as OS module in Python, which is primarily to work on renaming the file or deleting a file or creating a directory kind of stuff you can do with the OS module. A very useful module, handy module. Actually speaking, the normal thing which you can do with Python is only the file reading and writing operations. Okay, one more thing I forgot to show you. In case if you want to do append to a file, right now whatever you are writing is getting returned to that file, right? Correct or not? And it is overriding the contents of the existing file. But if I'm going to say A will append the contents with the new contents. See here, for example, f dot write fine. This is new content. Now, if I'm going to run this, I could see very well here. If I'm going to say, so hello world, hello line 1, and after that, this is new content. This is added. Whereas normally speaking, you know very well, previously this was the stuff. If I'm going to have this directly executed without this A or R, fine, you know very well, this will override. See, this will override. One second. So let me run this. Okay. I have to use W, right, for writing. And you also have one more option. If you want, you can say R plus. R plus can do the writing operation. Both read write. Okay. Now if you run this, this is by default going to append mode. Okay. I'll just go with W. So this is complete. Okay. Let me just give the read write operation. R plus. Let's see what it does. So I'm running this again. Okay, this is also overriding. Fine. This is also overriding. That's it. So primarily, but it's writing. It's writing, right? But is it writing or not? Let's check it out. This is another content, and I'm really doubtful. There is another content. Oh, it's right. Okay. And if I'm going to say W plus, let's say what happens. Overriding or appending is the question. It is just overriding. So appending is happening only if you are going to have A. If I'm going to run this with A, you could see very well. Okay, guys. So this is your appending option. Okay. Apart from this, you have this OS module. Let's now work on the OS module. So in order to work with OS model, you have to say import OS, operating system it means. So once you have this, now you can very well rename a file, or you can delete a file, or you can, make a directory. All those things you can perform. So you can say os dot find make dir, let's say d colon slash my new dir. If I'm going to specify this, make dir dir. Now this will create a directory. Cannot create when the file already exists. Okay, my dir, let's say nc. So it's already existing, so it didn't create it. So my new dir is there. So what I want is my new dir. Yes. So this will create a new directory. And apart from this, you can also rename a file os dot rename, let's say d colon slash file. We have a file, right? Hello dot text. Hello dot text to d colon slash hello new name dot text. So this I'll comment so that it does not recreate it. Right. So let me run this. So this name should have got renamed. Hello new name. Cool. Similarly, if you want, you can delete this. You can see here os dot remove of d colon slash hello one or hello new name. Hello new name dot text is still there. Hello. It's a file not found. You could see here the file system cannot find the file. Now if I run this, it goes off. Finish. That's it. Gone. Got it, guys. Is that making sense? So that's all we have with respect to this file handling. So very interesting topic. At the same time, very useful also. Uh, okay, one more thing is there. Change working directory. This option. Please have a look at it. Change working directory is like right now your working directory is this place. This is Danish 2022 is your working directory where you have all the files. If you want, you can change the directory. In that case, what will happen is that will work on that directory. As simple as that. Fine. See here, get cwd os dot print os dot get cwd will give you the current working directory path. So this is your working directory. If you want, you can change that. You can change that. How do you change that? You can say os dot change dir of d colon slash. Okay, and then again, if I'm, or let's say we have a directory, right? So my new directory, correct or not? My new dir nc, my new dir nc I've given. Now if I'm going to say this print os dot get cwd, this is going to return me the current working directory as this. So what is the big deal in that? Very simple. I can very well keep a file inside. Let's say hello new name.java inside this. Okay, I have copied here, correct? Now what I do is, now that my working directory is that, I can very well directly use this rename file. What is the file name? Hello new name.java. Wait, I'll just keep it. Hello new name.java file, my name.java, something like this. Okay, so I am not giving the path. Please look into it. I'm not giving the path. Previously I was giving d colon, right? So now that my working directory is this, I can directly work on this. Got it, right? So this is with respect to cwt changed as command. Again, pretty useful. Whatever command you are going to work on, this is going to work on that directory. Again, if you want, you can go back to the previous one. Got it, guys? So that's all we have with respect to this file handling. Kindly practice this, go through this, make sure you understand this. Okay, thank you very much.